Today, I want to talk about dual agency in Florida. A lot of times it's referred to as the official term transactional agency, but it is actually kind of a form of dual agency. So that really happens when a buyer is, viewing properties online. They see something that's interesting to them. So they reach out, call the listing agent direct, maybe just to get an answer to a quick question, or maybe they want to take a look at the property. They just call the listing agent to do that. Maybe their thought is that if they call the listing agent direct, they might be able to cut some of the buyer agency fee because they're cutting out a buyer's agent and going directly to the listing agent. Well, please understand that's exactly what a seller would love for you to do. The seller has hired that agent. They expect their agent to bring them an offer with the terms that are best for them. And, let's face it, the listing agent's going to have more feelings towards the seller because the seller is the one that hired him. Really, what the buyer needs is an agent that's looking out directly for their interests, an agent that has a fiduciary responsibility to their client to work on the best terms for the buyer, the best terms, the best price, whatever it is that's going to take this deal and make it a better deal for the buyer. That is what a fiduciary single agent is. Now, I did a complete video on the difference between transactional agents, single agents, and a no brokerage relationship agent, which is the three types of agents there are in Florida. So be sure to check out that video. It explains all three and really gives you a lot more perspective on which one's best for buyers. Also, a listing agent's actually going to have double the work, more than double the exposure to liability if they were going to handle both sides of the buyer and the seller side in the same transaction. So they're likely going to charge an agent fee, which is very comparable to what a buyer would find on their own with a single agent. But the buyer would be guaranteed not to be fully represented. They're going to lose their loyalty, confidentiality, and full disclosure. And that's by law, they're going to lose those things. A transactional agent can't do that. So last and certainly but not least is it's arduous for the buyer. I mean, every time you call a listing agent, you're going to have to start over, tell them their whole story. They're going to ask you a bunch of qualifying questions. Have you gone through financing? Have you, tell me about your search so far. It's a lot. And if you're doing that with every single listing that you're seeing online, it's going to get real old real quick. So it's really great to establish a relationship with a competent agent, someone who's been around a long time, knows the market, and can really kind of dial in your search much quicker. I can usually tell within a 5 to 10 minute conversation with a buyer the top 5 neighborhoods that are going to be best for them. So it's really a case of just streamlining the search. One thing that I hear from buyers all the time, they just don't realize that when they do call the listing agent direct, that listing agent cannot work for them in their best interest. It's actually against the law to do it. And in the long run, it could actually cost you a whole lot more, not just monetarily, but just in the overall protection that you're going to receive in the transaction. And as I said in another video, if paying the buyer's agent fee is your primary concern, you're trying to avoid that, don't worry, we got plenty of strategies that we can help negotiate that fee into your deal. But it just certainly makes no sense to try and navigate this without somebody looking out in your best interests. So I hope this shed some more light on transactional and dual agency. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the different types of agency in Florida and which one is the best choice for you, be sure to check out my other video on transactional agency versus single agency. I think you're going to get a lot of great information there. If you want a summary of the entire buying process, we've got a full buyer's guide. It's a 62-page guide that covers everything that you could possibly want to know, from choosing your agent to the compensation that's going to be paid, how it's paid, and the entire process. So if that's important to you, check the link below for a link to that guide. It's a free download. Thanks you for joining today and watching the video. My name is Bill McCue. I'm a co-leader of the Sarasota Homes Group, and I'd love to help you in your search. If you found this video helpful, hit the notification and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.